and welcome. You're watching NDTV Profit. I'm Harsh Saita, and we have with us the management of AGS Transact Technologies. We have Ravi Goyal, who's the chairman and managing director at AGS. The update is that they've renewed their agreement with a large private sector bank. And what they're suggesting is that incrementally it will add 30 crore of revenue because they have gone and they've changed the terms of the agreement with the private bank. So let's try and dive a little deeper, try and understand what impact this will have on the overall business, because might change for pretty much all their agreements. Mr. Goyal, good morning.
Good morning.
So just give us some insight, give us some understanding. What exactly has changed as part of the terms of the agreement?
Right. So thank you, Harsh. As you know, we are there in the ATM outsourcing business, and we have contracts with the majority of the banks, private sector and public sector in India. We have been a pioneer in bringing this concept of outsourcing in India. These contracts are normally from 3 to 5 years, and every time when the contracts gets over, it is renewed and renegotiated. So this is a part of that. So this time we have not only gone for only transaction model. I mean, as you know, the outsourcing contracts, some are on fixed model, some are on transaction model. This particular contract, what we have renewed is on fixed plus transaction model instead of only transaction model. And we see a lot of contracts getting renegotiated, renewed in the similar lines.
Got it, sir. And sir, my understanding is you have 10 to 12 odd clients in this space.
Right.
And therefore, likely that most of those 10 to 12, as those contracts come up for renegotiation, will move to the transaction-based model?
No, so as I said, that a lot of banks are on a fixed model, some banks are on a transaction model. So we have basically converting the transaction-based model into a fixed plus transaction-based model. And we see this trend continue in the future also.
Okay, let me try and keep it more direct. 30 crore of revenue added due to this change. First off, I want to understand 30 crore right off the bat in this year itself?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the potential like therefore? So say out of the 10 to 12 clients you have, maybe 3 or 4 you expect such renegotiations to start to happen over the next maybe 2 to 3 years. How should one look at it?
Yeah, over next 2 to 3 years, definitely. Even in this year, we are discussing with few more banks, and we'll keep you informed on that. But definitely, in next 2 to 3 years, we see more contracts getting renewed.
Understood. And the cost structure for you remains the same, so that does not change. This should incrementally do you better on margins.
Absolutely, that's right.
So this should typically trickle through to margin as well as bottom line, completely, the 30 crore.
Absolutely.
Understood. And therefore, where should this take margins with the maybe 2 to 3 new clients also expected to get onboarded this year?
Right. So the cost structure remains the same. So this incremental will definitely go to the bottom line and should kick in at least 1.5 to 2% better margin.
Understood. Got it. And with regard to just top line growth otherwise, outside of some of these, so your top line for viewer context is around 1,500 crore for FY24, 30 crore added to the top line, maybe 2-3 more clients, maybe 100 odd crore coming from, this kind of a structure change in terms of agreements. So a likely 6% incremental revenue, maybe FY26. But just to try and break this down a little bit better, what's the kind of growth trajectory you're looking to clock? Because you've signed new agreements with an SBI as well with regard to new ATM setup. You continue to do good growth on some of those areas as well. So talk to us about that.
So as we mentioned last time that we have got 2 contracts from SBI. One is is on the on a capex model of around 75 crore, and second is on a outsourcing model for 7 years. Here we are going to deploy around 2,550 machines, which would give us a revenue roughly of around 1,100 crore of over seven years. So this should be on a full year basis. It should give us a revenue of around 150 crore. This year the rollout would start from H2, and we should be able to complete it in this financial year itself. The capex order would definitely get completed before September. So we see that this itself should give us more than around 150 crore of incremental revenue.
Understood. So last 5 years, FY20 to FY24, in your own disclosure at the end of FY24, and I'm referring to that, top line hasn't expanded. In fact, it's contracted a little bit. Talk to us about and give our viewers some context. What has happened and what changes going forward, just in terms of growth?
Right. So as mentioned in the investors call also, what we have done over the last 2 years is that we were there in a lot of product businesses like retail hardware for billing. We were there for in color dispensing machines. We were there in the oil marketing, retail outlet automations. So there were a lot of product businesses, and our service revenues used to be around 85% of our total revenue. Over the last 2 years, we have been cutting down on our product businesses. So our revenue of services has gone from 85 to 95%. And what we have seen is also this brings a lot of focus on our services, and also reduces the working capital.
Understood. And therefore, just in terms of growth, what's the kind of top line growth that one can expect coming from you over the next 2 to 3 years?
So as I said, that this SBI order itself should give us around 152 crore revenue minimum on a yearly basis. We are working on some other contracts also. There is a lot of focus also on the digital side, where we are we have started issuing the cards on our PPI license, and there also we see a lot of growth coming in the revenues in next few years.
Understood. And so with regard to cash profit as well, it's been quite muted just in terms of your cash profits, largely because of margins. Now that margins will likely recover this year, 2 percentage points is what likely you're suggesting or indicating. Would PAT margin also improve, and will it get better?
Yes, definitely it will get better over a period of time. Yes.
Understood. And where do you see that going, therefore? So this 150 odd crore order should add maybe another 10% to top line. And thereafter, you have another 30 crores coming from the current restructured agreement. And of course, all of that adding to margins. So where should this overall look? I mean, how should one look at numbers overall?
No, as I said, that for future we are working on few more contracts, and obviously once those contracts gets materialized, it would be added to the future revenues and the bottom line.
Understood. And with regard to net debt, it's been coming off from some of those highs. But where should do you believe that this is the level at which you'd like to be at when net debt is concerned?
Again, Harsh, we had mentioned it in our analyst call.
Yes.
That we have reduced our debt by around 100 crore last year. And what we expect is in the next 4 years' time, we should be debt free.
Okay. What are the newer growth levers that you're looking for? Because of course you have SBI. Of course you may be pitching certain ATM related services to other customers as well. but they are not converting significantly, likely, at least as of now. So what are the new growth levers you are looking for in terms of digital, in terms of, and how will that start adding up for you in terms of business?
Right. So Harsh, I mean, as you know, we are in the payment space. I mean, cash, we are doing it in ATM outsourcing. We are also doing a cash management through our 100% wholly owned subsidiary Secure Value. So this in cash, we have a substantially a good market share. On digital front, we have been working on our issuance of on-go cards through our PPI license. And we have got three major lines of businesses in that. One is we are doing it on a co-branded platform. So we have already signed a deal with Patanjali for issuing of their closed loop cards to our on-go platform. And that should be around 25 lakh cards. They have already issued. They have a GTV of around 1,500 crore every year. So we expect those cards to be converted to our open loop cards and bring it on our platform. We are also working on similar kind of tie-ups with other corporates. Second, we have tied up through RBL Bank for issuance of Bangalore Metro NCMC card. This has already started. We have already issued around 50,000 cards, and we expect this to grow in the next few years. They already have around 35 lakh cards as a closed loop cards, and we expect that in next few years, those all cards would be migrated on this, our new platform. Third, which is very interesting, is we are also launching, we have already doing a pilot with HPCL for on-go fuel, and this very soon we should be able to launch nationally, and this should give a very, very good growth to our digital business.
Understood. So my last question is on cash balances. You're generating roughly 250 to 300 crore of cash every year. What are you doing with it?
So this is basically for the, obviously the payments of, we are reducing the debt every year.
Sure.
And this is also used for our growth for outsourcing and digital platform.
Understood. Mr. Goyal, it's been a pleasure interacting with you, breaking this down. Congratulations on this new hybrid agreement that you've signed, and likely many more to go. We'll wait for some of those announcements to come, but thank you so much for speaking with us.